Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the world. And y'all want to hear some mainstream media mind control propaganda? Well, listen up. This is from the Opinion, New York Times. This was published February 18, 2021. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Critical thinking, as we're taught to do it, isn't helping in the fight against misinformation. In other words, critical thinking, thinking for yourself, having a mind of your own, that's dangerous. It's dangerous to our controlled narrative that we're trying to force feed you. So, this is where they at with it, man. And that shows you the desperate attempt, of, the globalists, all right, these devils in their, narrative, because they want to control the minds of the people. All right, what this new world order entails, not only for you to not be self-sufficient and not own anything, but also you can't have your own mind. Okay, they have to do the thinking and deciding for you. Okay, that's the world that they want. Okay, and pretty much anybody that do have their own mind, that are, they're not allowing mainstream media to control them in their decision making. Apparently these people are a threat. If their witchcraft isn't working on you, you're a threat. All right, because you tend to gather information and collect facts and examine the matter, and you might possibly find some holes and discrepancies that you can actually criticize. Just being cautious, they don't want this to be a problem. So this is the propaganda that they're coming with. And of course, it's not a surprise coming from the New York Times. You should know, what nation actually owns New York Times. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article. I'll read just a little bit, maybe like the first few paragraphs, so you can, witness the madness. All right. Another one of the devil's attempts. And that's why the scriptures tell us to always, be prudent, man. Look well till you're going. You know, the scriptures actually teach critical thinking and not being so quick to just receive anything. Okay. So this says, for an academic, Michael Caulfield has an odd request. Stop overthinking what you see online. So anything that you see, coming from mainstream news and social media, don't question it. Don't use your brain. Just go along with what you see. Hey, obey and consume. Don't put those glasses on. Right? That's what he's saying. Mr. Caulfield, a digital literacy expert at Washington State University, Vancouver, knows all too well that at this very moment, more people are fighting for the opportunity to lie to you than at perhaps any other point in human history. Misinformation rise degrees algorithmic rails of powerful social media platforms and travels at velocities and in volumes that make it nearly impossible to stop. That alone makes information warfare an unfair fight for the average internet user. In other words, you're getting in the way, all right, of other people, who are coming across these, articles that we make easier to be accessible rather than the information that they try to hide. All right, you're making our job, tougher to deceive, more of the masses. because we are definitely in an information war, and those that are taking heed to, the mainstream, they're believing a lie. They don't realize that, warfare, psychological warfare is being done on them. All right. What they want you to do is shut the hell up. Don't question anything that you see. Comply. All right. Go ahead and take those experimental death row darts. All right. Put 2 masks on and don't question nothing. All right. That's basically what they're complaining about. It says, but Mr. Caulfield argues that the deck is stacked even further against us. No, what's happening is, your lies are no longer, uh, uh, they're no longer being effective as they used to be, because now we're in a time where your iniquities, all right, everything about you is being revealed. All right, it tells you how in the last days that many shall go to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You see? So yeah, the deck is stacked against you because you stacked up a deck of lies, and now it's being knocked over. All right. Now let me real quick, let me get a scripture. And let's go to Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, at verse I'll start at verse 18. It says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them, that they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And that's what they're so happen to do right now with their agenda. You know, a lot of people are getting hurt with their unrighteousness, man, with their deception. It tells you that in Daniel, the 8th chapter, that this devil, he will cause craft to prosper in his hand, and through peace will destroy many. But now people are starting to figure things out, because you have information that's being, put on alternative, news platforms or information platforms, where people are finding the truth and are no longer allowing, for Satan's medium to control them. That's what happens, when you are glued to the TV and all you watching is, information from one narrative that's controlled, that has a certain agenda. You're being taken captive by Satan, and that's a spirit. Because I did a lesson previously. When Timothy mentioned how, us preaching His word, it'll recover you from the snares of the devil that are taken captive by his will. So we're this information, this knowledge is freeing your minds, man, making you free from the snare of the devil. He's trying to keep you captive. All right, with all these psyops, psychological operations, with his controlled narratives. You know, now he's trying to do a lot of gaslighting. This is all mind manipulation tactics. This is how Esau uses his craft, because he's a subtle serpent. He's more subtle than any beast of the field. All right, but it's no longer working, on the minds of certain people. Now you still got, a majority that's still under the strong delusion, but those who are not under that strong delusion, their witchcraft isn't working. But that's because, this truth is a counter to the madness. It says, would they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. You see? And it also tells you that, the Lord will cause your tongue to fall upon yourself. And you've been doing that all throughout this operation, where people have, came forward, and even certain dudes that are in on this whole agenda of the, the new world order, you know, they're saying things and don't even realize that they're telling on themselves, man. Well, that's the Heavenly Father revealing you. Psalm 64:8, it says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All right. So the more this happens, the more people are starting to catch these things, and they're using their brain. They're using their critical thinking skills. It's like a fish in water, and they they see um the bait hook. They see the worm, but as soon as they get a little closer, and they notice that, they notice the edge, of the hook. Because normally, in order for you to catch fish, you got to make sure that sharp point, at the end of the hook isn't showing, because they can see that a fish has the intelligence to know, you know, um, when something is trying to, snatch them up, man. You know, so if you have a worm on there, but the worm isn't covering the edge of that hook, you know, that all they seeing is just, that worm. So they're gonna go for the worm. But if they get close enough and they can see that the worm isn't all the way on the hook, and they see that sharp point, they're gonna swim away from that. They're gonna dart away from that hook. You see? And Esau, he speaks with a forked tongue. People know at this point not to trust this devil, man. And if you do trust in him, you're gonna get pricked, like it told you in Sirach, the 12th chapter. Lest you be pricked therewith. All right. So anyway, going back into the article, so you seeing the propaganda that they're pushing, they're desperate, man. So they don't want you to think for yourself. What the scriptures tell us, let's go to Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. All right, that's called using wisdom. All right, which entails, critical thinking. Critical thinking skills, that's a form of wisdom. Okay, you know how to examine matters. You know how to do cross examinations. You know how to gather facts and analyze it before you make your decision. Because that's literally what critical thinking is. It's not jumping to conclusions. You weighing things out. I mean, critical thinking. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. Okay? And this is what Esau is, telling you to stop doing. All right? Because, you know, they want to control your mind. This is mind control propaganda. All right, this is straight out of 1984. Okay, so let me see. Another definition. Let me see. Down here it says critical thinking is the analysis of facts to form a judgment. The subject is complex and several different definitions exist, which generally include the rational, skeptical, unbiased analysis or evaluation of factual evidence. All right, what do the scriptures tell us? Prove all things, right? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 21. It says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. All right. It says, in LT, it says, but test everything that is said. Hold on to what is good. You see, that's wisdom. You know, test everything that's said. Don't just be a simple person and just accept anything that you read or what you're listening to. All right, prove all things. Hold fast that which is good, the good information, that which is true, the facts, man. And so far with this whole psyop that these devils been running, man, we've been get. I mean, the scriptures even said that you would do what you would do. Okay, so let's go from there and let's go to the apocrypha real quick. So Rock 11 and 7 it says, "Blame not thou before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, and then rebuke." All right, before you scrutinize, examine the truth, gather all the facts. All right, and everything about this whole ordeal, the facts are actually out there. Esau would literally dismiss factual information as misinformation. Why? Because pursuant to Psalms 58 and 3, the wicked is estranged from the womb as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay, they love to speak lies. They don't love to speak the truth because it's not in them. It says, "But you are forgers of lies, physicians of no value." So when you deal with information, when you deal with the truth, you become an enemy because they're trying to seduce you with deception. All right. So you can read this for yourself, man. This is from the New York Times, and they're literally trying to get you to stop thinking for yourself. All right. This is straight up 1984. All right. This is that totalitarian dystopian that they're trying to create. Okay. Just watch that box that's sitting in front of your living room, you know, and continue to get enchanted, get charmed, by the propaganda, their enchantments. The scriptures say, "Stand now with thine enchantments," man. You could see a devil. I mean, just look at these devils, man. Why would you even want to take, you know, uh, advice or opinions from a serpent like this, man? This is the same serpent that told Eve, "You won't die." you know. So you can't let these devils beguile you. But they're making it a crime if you dismiss their beguilement. If you don't allow them to beguile you and to control your mind, now you're a criminal. Okay, what you're doing is dangerous. Having a mind of your own, because the less you think for yourself, the better the slave you will be. And we need slaves. We need nothing but straight up cooperating slaves. We don't need nobody that's sharp and prudent and can look through the bullshit and see our propaganda for what it is. No, believe our propaganda, you bigot. Let us continue to lie to you so we can control you, so that we can increase more of our power. But guess what? It ain't working. Okay. So that's where we at with it, man. All right. They don't want you to go down a rabbit hole. They don't want you to find things out, because they're afraid that, you're gonna eventually find out that, his rust have not altogether been wiped away. You're gonna realize you're staring the devil, all right, the devil incarnate right in his eyes, man. Okay. This is the man of sin being revealed. All right, Second Thessalonians 2 and verse 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." All right, and the spirit of the Lord's mouth is his prophecies. This devil is getting slayed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, through the spirit of prophecy. All right, we're breaking down all your strongholds. All right, all your wicked agendas is all coming out, is being exposed. All right, you cannot hide yourself anymore. It says, "And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." And the Lord is going to destroy you with his brightness. All right, it says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders." Because, Satan, he has, a physical counterpart that does his work on the earth, working, pseudo false miracles. They have the power of mind control, you know. So, he would, the scriptures say that he would come with that kind of power, man. That's why the scriptures tell us, try the spirit by the spirit, whether they be of the Most High, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. The scriptures always tell us to use critical thinking skills, man. We use that even to determine who's teaching the truth and who's teaching a lie. You have brothers that started off watching these other camps, and then through cross examination, they listened to them, and then they heard the apostles and elders and brothers of Great Millstone, and they gathered the facts. They searched the scriptures through prudence, and they came to the conclusion that these other dudes are a bunch of liars, man. These dudes are false prophets, and these men over here, they got to be the real prophets, because it's all adding up. The facts make much more sense, you know. But if you don't have that skill, meaning if the spirit of the Lord ain't working with you, you're gonna be given over to the strong delusion that you should believe in a lie that's coming from the workings of Satan. It says, "And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." All right. But hey, it's your job to make sure that this devil don't get an advantage over you. 2 Corinthians 2:11, as it is written, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices." You know, so because he can't, beguile you, he can't make you one of his victims. He's threatened by that. So he has to deem you, a potential terrorist, insurgent, an enemy of the state. You're anti this, you're anti that. Your conspiracy theory, which a lot of these are all mind control terminologies. This is how they control people's minds using those terms. It's all newspeak. Stand now with thine enchantments, man. All right, and that's why we gotta constantly be on guard. With this wisdom. All right, Ephesians 6:11, and it says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles, all right, the craft, the trickery, the methods." All right, the Greek word there is methodia. All right, the methods of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. And guess what? They have control over these mainstream news outlets. Okay, they control New York Times. They control Washington Post. All right, Huffington Post, USA Today, CBS, CNBC, CNN. All right, it says against spiritual wickedness in high places, and that's what we're up against, man. All right, a portal of left hand energy that we're dealing with, because that's what they operating from. It says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore having your loins girded about with truth." All right, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And we know that no lie is of the truth. So it doesn't matter what this devil come with, it's not going to get through to you, because you already know the truth. You know not to trust this devil. It says, "And having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all taking a shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked." Okay, and these are, fiery darts, man. And they're shooting a lot of these fiery darts to get you to take their experimental death row dart. They're trying to shame you, convict you, get you to believe in your mind that what you're doing is criminal, for questioning, their whole narrative and what they're trying to get accomplished. Even though what we're seeing clearly is an evil agenda. You know. So anyway, hey man, this devil's getting exposed left and right, man. Okay, so he's desperate. All right, but hey, you won't be able to deceive the very elect, because that's not possible. All right. So anyway, I'll definitely leave a link to this in the description box. Hopefully this was edifying, to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.